Hey human, thanks for clicking on this video. Let me take you on a journey.
Travelanture. As the name suggests, it's a travel product that uses AI to generate itineraries. My role, as you know, of being a UX designer and also a UX researcher. Not to brag, but I also had to step up as a product manager every now and then whenever required. I was working on it for 5 months. I used various tools, mainly Figma and Slack. I chose this project since it perfectly highlights my skills as a designer. Learning new things and stepping in new water, fetching those skills is what a designer is meant to do their whole life. So, I'm going to give a picture of me working professionally where you can feel confident. I will do great if you put your confidence in me. Before we move forward, I would like to give you some updates on the company so that it becomes easier for you to understand my decision and my environment and also get a picture of who I am as a professional worker. Travel and Adventure is a startup that was founded in 2023. It was acquired three travel agency partners for their itinerary database with 1 million raised till now. This was the metric when I joined, and I am not sure about it right now, but there were a team of 7 employees, including me, during my time. As they have been working before I joined them, I was given a problem statement as making a product that helps user in their travel by guiding them using AI. I refined this problem statement to what you see on the screen. I discovered the intention behind their vision and formulated the statement to planning and managing group trips to cater to everyone's preferences by using AI to give information. Later, I found some great opportunities in our competitors in India. I saw mismanagement and challenges in coordination. Majorly, the crowd preferred a travel agency over online bookings, and expense management was difficult in a group as there was not clear setting and transparency in group outings. And activities organization suffered a lot of discussions, arguments, and loss of time to find a common point. Also, dynamic adaptation was missing as there were not many tools to revert the delays and changes happening real time. My inspiration was to transform the travel agency experience into a virtual application. To do this, I went through three stages of design. Firstly, discovery. In discovery, I took the initiative to understand the issue, conduct interviews with potential users, take competitive analysis, and do some prioritization exercises to get the priorities for the MVP, user journey mapping, and user persona creation to understand users' motivation and pain points clearly. Secondly, ideate. For ideation purpose, I took inspiration from users flow and rapidly prototyping them on paper using pencil, giving a heuristic evaluation to notice my shortcomings and major issues we would face in MVP launch. Some site mapping, understanding of AI, and little low, mid, high fidelity prototype creation. Lastly, delivering. During the delivery stage, I took critics on user flow from the team by role playing some heuristics evaluation again just to go through any issues that I missed. Some A B testing after having a misalignment in interest in the team, and usability testing with the real user. I also made refinements based on the data. This is a small snippet of comparison between a low, mid, high fidelity prototype of the account dashboard. Now, coming to the fun part, I know it took a long time. Thank you for your patience. I have only highlighted five major problems I faced. It would take me a day to explain each and every problem I faced during my 5 months in the startup environment. One being time management, since I was in a different time zone. But let's focus on these five problems. Lack of clear requirements from the stakeholders. As we know, startups are all about making the product big. I was lucky since they understood the importance of design since they got me on the team. I knew they were flexible to hear me out and go along with me if I explained to them what I want to do and why it is necessary. Problem two was time constraints. There was a lot of accomplishing in a very short time. We were also facing a huge backlash of resources. Third problem, misalignment. This was an interesting problem. It was something I did not expect and soon found a solution. AI expertise. One of the requirements from our stakeholders was AI integration. It was an admin and necessary requirement, and I was facing a few issues with my overall knowledge of AI working. Lastly, access to the real users. There was limited access to real users, and we did not want to reveal our product and wanted users for testing too. It was difficult to manage interviews since different time zones, but let's understand more in depth what I did to solve these. When I heard the problem statement, I was sure I had to get my intentions right for the full product's lifeline. Long story short, I was unsure at first if I had the authority to change their perspective, but I took a stand. I asked in the very beginning if they were open to me understanding more about their vision. One thing led to another. What helped me a lot was coming up with a presentation on the company's value and future structure with competitors. I did have the template given to me since they did present their company's findings to some investors. I did some refinements to the words and tried to explain keeping it broader but would be better for the long run. Of course, AI was a necessity, so it is a trend to which would also serve as a super point in marketing. It became more prevalent to them after seeing opportunities in competitive analysis. The second problem was time constraints and also major backlash on resources. The best solution we could find was having a roadmap on our MVP, focusing more on having a product that's working than a perfect product. Instead of focusing on perfection, trying to find the task and flows that we wanted for our MVP. I took a prioritization workshop which was based on time and difficult metrics. In getting a roadmap for product launch, it was inspired by importance difficult metrics articles that I read on Luma Institute site when I was just exploring different design recipes. This workshop helped me in directing the directions from doing more important and simple tasks to unimportant and difficult tasks. And I got the whole map. This also helped the developers to get the idea of what to work first. After seeing the exercise, the marketing team and data team also decided to do it for their task as it just becomes so easy to get a roadmap without much hassle. This workshop ran longer than I expected, but I was glad they found something that worked for everyone. I also did a short card sorting and theme selection to get these tasks that were very important or top priority for our MVP. This way, I got the proper understanding, and even the stakeholders were happy as they got a better picture of the future that's coming. This was a surprising problem. The issue came up after my presentation on ideas and vision I had for the design. Using the paper prototype and digital prototype, we saw there was a difference in opinions from the developer and marketing team. I felt like I agreed more with the marketing team's vision, but I stayed neutral then. It was important for me to also consider why the developer was not in agreement. Later, I thought maybe transparency and understanding the thought process of both of them could help me get a better solution. In the end, it was a choice between left and right, so I thought a simple A B testing could do the work, and if the parts were difficult to code in, the time frame we choose to leave for future. Another problem I feel was really important to tackle was getting advanced knowledge of AI. I mean, since we were running short on time, it was mandatory to know and educating process that saves time and energy. I did have a personal class with the developing team to make me better understand the functionality of AI and for me to visualize how it could be represented in a way that users feel connected to the information and also are satisfied with the results and feeling the satisfaction required to bring them back to the platform again. I feel advancing my knowledge of AI also helped shorten my design decision mistakes that could have been fatal in the end. I tended to use ChatGPT and Gemini a lot for missing information whenever I had a doubt. Funny how I used AI to know AI working. To further rectify any problems, I had a presentation on site mapping with the development team before presenting it to the stakeholders along the way, diagnosing anything that seemed impossible considering AI machinery. Lastly, the main issue I had for which I used the labor I had on hand was I could get proper critique would be difficult for a user who knows the product. So I knew we had to at least test it with a user who was out of the team. The beginning stages were filled with target audience personas and role playing on personas. I also did heuristic evaluation early in the stage to not let any big mishaps happen during the digital designing phase, as we were really short on time. Some major design decisions I have made in my time were inspired by my intention to bring inclusivity in the design, simplifying the AI technology for users like me, solving coordination issues, and bringing out the discussions from the chatting groups and innovating the trip planning experiences. After establishing some user flow, let's understand my thinking and motives behind the design system creation. Before any decision, I made sure to research patterns on my target audience like phone quality, color vision, deficiency rate, text familiarity, and spacing or size patterns in India. Although it was not asked of me, I felt this is a practice that helped in the long run. I noticed there are a lot of different qualities of Android phones that are carried by the target audience. It was imperative to take this into consideration when thinking about the color and typography. I thought of having a AAA passing colors for brand and reds and greens would be the best practice for the device, and having a good legible text font, super family, would be the best. Although I did not get the contrast ratio that I wanted, the stakeholders liked this font much more than the other that I represented. It was similar to sans serif and Times Roman, so we wanted to relieve the cognitive load from the user as much as possible since the introduction of AI itself is pretty new. This is the design system, short and precise. Now, another challenge I faced was coming up with a way to measure success in my users' flow. It was imperative for me to focus not only on MVP instead of in securing perfection, but keeping in mind that I came up with two ways of going in. I also had to reconsider the resources limitation we were having. So, any free way of testing it was I was suggested and asked for. The easiest way I thought was critiquing based on the user flow. So assigning points from each person in the team to get to the desired task on the user story to establish how easy it is, how it makes you feel, and whether you want to give some improvements. A point system was formed from 1 to 5, 1 being the lowest, 5 being the highest in efficiency. So if we have anything lower than 3, that means I need to make some more refinements. Luckily, it was only the home page that needed a little bit of more information than what was displayed, and the boarding section was easy to make refinements in. I also did a heuristic evaluation again on the final prototype to see where were refinements needed and whether I acknowledged the issues that came in before. I did see error prevention needed in some pages. I also did some A/B testing that is free plan on usability hub for the screen which had different opinions. I saw how stakeholders were happy with the product and it gave me immense joy. Now, coming to the best part. Some major takeaways from my side would be first, I tried to make the product not perfect but usable and a little efficient. The focus was not doing everything but finding the best way to accomplish something that could be done in limited time and finding the most opportune points where we can connect, creating a profit for the company too. Also, keeping in mind that the company needs a profit plan and putting the ideas not just from user's perspective but also from a business mind. The second point would be asynchronously collaborating most of the time, which was easy to manage with Slack and FigJam. I feel transparency was another thing that led to good collaboration between different teams given the time difference of 12.5 hours. Lastly, I found believing in open mindedness of others and giving clear explanation while keeping the product's profit in mind can influence even the hardest mind. I definitely learned to trust more in others, welcoming nature to bring creative ideas where the same goal is shared. Since the
Hi,
product is
I
yet
would firstly want to start off
no
by
idea,
thanking Prashita for the amazing work that she has done
there
and the
might be
amazing
unforeseen
collaboration that we have
circumstances
had.
that they
The
face,
product
as
design that I
India
got from
does
Prashita
have
was
a harsh
absolutely
market going
fabulous.
on, and people
The
can
kind
be
of
less
brainstorming
flexible to
sessions
new
that we
ideas.
had, the kind of
I was sure to
innovation,
get
the kind
some
of
client
creativity
recognition
she got
to
onto the
build
table
the
was
credibility of this
absolutely
product
commendable.
journey. Here's the
It is
video
not
from
even close
Aisha
to what I
Verma, who
had
is the
imagined
founder of
for. The
Travelanture.
final
Thank you for
prototype that she
listening to me.
presented with
Please
such
let me know
details
if
was
you have
absolutely
any
amazing.
questions.
So, thank you so much, Prashita. Once again, I